The Bounty Hunters. Sorry for the late post, very distracted. Rimworld updated, max horror vibes. Sergeant Megara was a lead-in over her head. Her great-aunt had vouched for her, and she had been fast-tracked for non-commissioned officer training with a look towards getting a full commission and perhaps finding herself as a divine leader. To do that, you need to grab any opportunity that comes by and make your name known. So, of course, when there was a lottery to become the honor guard of a newly ascended lord, she had signed up. Not only was it something to polish her reputation to a mirror shine, but for a lord, it gave her the possibility of being a lady in the future. And wouldn't that be something? Her commission as an honor guard was not starting off as she anticipated, as her charge was entering a dueling ring with a Canador, his sister, cousin. The relationship seemed close, and they were friendly, even if she was currently upset with him. A man with somewhat ruddy skin and seemingly made of braided wire, wrapped around a skeleton, hops into the ring between the Canador and rearing up Nagasha, seemingly dwarfed between the two, but so confident that he seems to tower himself. All right, everybody, calm down. To the new girls on the ship, welcome to the madhouse. To our combatants, I have the limiters for you. For those that don't know, this is a non-lethal spar. Our big girl here will be wearing an axiom totem that will be blunting everything sharp on her, so she doesn't have to worry about gouging chunks out of her opponent. This is standard for all duels with Canadors so that we can minimize trips to medical. He explains, holding up a pendant for Jade to take. The chrome sheen of the metal blends in fairly well with her well-cared-for fur. However, that doesn't mean our slithery friend here is without advantages of his own. I am passing to him a pair of gloves that will prevent the activation of his more interesting enhancements, he says, passing a pair of gloves to Slytherin. Finally are the rules of this spar. Our fighters know all this, so this is for your benefit, girls. These fights are until knockout, surrender, or pin. Knockout is obvious, surrender is obvious as well. But a pin is where one combatant or the other is held to the mat with both shoulders touching down for a 5 count. Now, are both combatants ready? Tang asks as he looks from Jade, who brushes her hair out from the necklace and nods. He then looks to Slytherin, who tightens his gloves. All right, keep it clean and friendly. That means no tearing out fur, hair, or implants. He raises and then lowers his hands as he steps back and away from them both. All right, fight! Jade pounces on Slytherin immediately, and he rises with the blow, bending backwards along his tail and moving to try and wrap around her. But she slips out and tries to grab at him. However, he makes sure to only give her his thick and strong tail in a tumbling, churning move that's bringing his strongest limb between the two of them. Then the tip of his tail flicks at her, and she dodges right as his main body lunges forward. But she still has longer arms and grabs him around the face to try and drive him to the ground. His tail writhes and goes for her legs, forcing her to abandon the attempt at a pin or risk being tripped and tied up. As she steps back to try and find a weakness, Slytherin gathers his tail beneath him and rises up as high as he can, swaying around as his entire lower body shifts to keep him facing her. Then she jumps and he twists to the side to avoid. But she still grabs him by the shoulder and starts to drag him down. His lower body shifts and he turns of her attempt to pin into his own. Unfortunately for him, her balance and footing is a little too good, and it becomes a contest as to whether she can pull him down. The answer is no. His upper body doesn't have the strength to compete with her, but his tail is powerful enough to lift her off the ground. Then Megara and her girls flinch as a smacking sound rings out as Jade punches Slytherin. Hard. He writhes and slams her into the mat with his whole tail. 1, 2. Jade slams her fist into Slytherin again, and he rears back to stop Tang's count in a slightly stunned state. One that's a lie as the tip of his tail whips around and smacks her hard enough to stagger her. But she catches the tail. There is a slight axiom surge and Slytherin yelps as he's hefted into the air, tail and all, and then slammed into the mat. He bleeds off most of the momentum by rolling his tail with it before centering most of his mass and pulling back on Jade to try and throw her. But she wisely lets go, and both of them start pacing around the outside of the ring. The length of Slytherin's tail nearly takes up half of it as she prowls opposite of him. Then they both rush together, and as she tries to get control of his upper body for a pin, he goes at the back of her knees to unbalance her as he drags in his lower body to try and overwhelm her with his sheer mass. Then there's a heavy smack as Jade refuses to go down easy, and just like that, Slytherin goes limp and falls to the ground. "Knockout!" Tang calls out. "Medic's already on her way and—" "Oh, tasting my own tongue. I got rocked, didn't I?" Slytherin asks as he stirs. "That's right, I won!" "Ha ha!" Jade rubs it in his face. Slytherin channels Axiom as he rises up and his already forming bruises start to fade. "Hang on, we had a knockout. Need to check," Tang says, walking up and pulling out a small flashlight from his pocket. He shines the light in Slytherin's eyes and examines Slytherin's responses. "All right, you just got rocked for a moment. You're all right." "I'll be the judge of that," Cindy states as she announces her presence. Megara and her squad had been so distracted by the fight that none had noticed her coming in. There is an air of pride around her as she quickly weaves her way through the small crowd and enters the ring. Little prank war got out of hand? Turns out Jade was a bit more upset at the last bit than she was letting on. Slytherin notes. "Do you have any idea how important that helmet was? The things I put in there by reflex let me figure out all sorts of things about myself. And making a new one would have done the same. Besides, I didn't even touch it." Slytherin teases even as Cindy scans him. "How did you hide it then? You know that new material they've got? The stuff that we can't see? Ghost metal? Ghost cloth. They made some into a pillowcase and hid a new pillow in my room. I had to be told about it before finding it. And you put the case over my helmet. Where is it now?" "I think Dad pocketed it." "I don't know," Slytherin asks. "Seriously, though, it bothered you this much?" "Lord Slytherin," Megara begins, and everyone turns to her. "Is this kind of thing normal?" "Oh yeah, this is normal. Stops things from festering. Yeah, nothing like knowing I can slap this idiot like a bad habit to cool off." Jade remarks. "But seriously, Scaly, bad form. Do I mess up your half of the lab?" "No, but you won't stop whining about what it looks like. I figured it built up after a while." Slytherin replies and Jade sighs in frustration. "Lord Slytherin, could we speak in private? I would like to ask you a few questions, and while I will not deny you time with your family, I do think it's best that we at least have a professional rapport with each other," Megara says, and he nods. "Right, all right. I'm sorry I don't know how to do the noble thing. I'm some punk kid with military training. The fact they slapped a crystal star on me is, well, it's weird," Slytherin says. "Be that as it may, we are your honor guard now, my lord. We have been sent to protect you, and knowing your plans in the future would help us understand what we are to best protect you from." Megara states, and Slytherin nods. "All right, do you know where Jawbone is? We can talk in there." Slytherin offers, and everyone nods, and his honor guard begins to leave the room. "Are you all right with them around?" Cindy asks him after they've left. "It's fine. It's just, I don't know. Seems overkill for me to have guards and, well, I don't know if I want more to do with LeBlanc. There's opportunity here. I could do a lot of things, but should I? Do I want to? I've done a touch of digging. I could found a mobile house, a fleet-born noble house. I could remake the Hardytales as nobility with undaunted strength and more. He trails off and looks away. "It's all right to miss them." "I know, but missing them when I'm with you feels, I don't know, ungrateful?" "It's fine," Cindy assures him. "I know that too, but still feeling it," he says. "And it's okay to feel that," Cindy says, and he nods. He then takes in a deep breath and nods. "All right, time to talk with them. Do you want us there?" "I'm fine. Besides, you'll be knowing what they say to me, just in case. But I want to see how well I do alone," he says, tapping his prosthetic eye, and Cindy nods. "All right, best of luck." She wishes him, and he nods before giving Jade a jaunty and teasing salute and nodding towards Tang. He then slithers out of the room after his honor guard. It takes him a minute and a half to reach Jawbone, and he takes a deep breath and pushes back his hair before entering. His guard stands as he does so. 3 Lete, 2 Drin. The salute of the Lablin Empire makes them look like they're holding a box. Right hand held above left at navel level. He gives them an undaunted salute in return. Hands snapping up to eye level and with the palm facing towards himself. Up, 2-3, down. At ease, ladies, he tells them, and the one with the ranking pins on her shoulder steps up. Sergeant Megara, my lord, we are your honor guard. I apologize that we did not have a proper introduction until now. However, we felt it best to blend in with ship culture. It was the right thing to do, despite me ennobling in LeBlanc methods. I am unfamiliar with LeBlanc culture, something that I hope you girls can help me correct. Sir, yes, sir, Megara states. Good. I'm going to be frank with you ladies. We will likely be spending a very long time away from LeBlanc. Years at a time even. If any of you do not wish to leave your home empire, I am willing to learn and then perform whatever legal ceremonies or activities required to have you return to your preferred posting with no loss of rank, standing, or dignity. My lord, do you not understand what it means to be an honor guard? The term can be used for any number of things, and, as I've stated before, I have not been in Lablin long. I have not had time to absorb the culture nor its expectations. Slytherin says, I assume that you are more than just bodyguards. Bodyguards is the core of what we do. An honor guard is a prestigious position even if you do not have high ambitions in LeBlanc. Merely serving on one is benefit to us. I see. Speaking of ambitions, I am considering things, but I have not had much time to do so. I'm not the type to simply curl up on some cushion and contemplate all things. I like to be busy, so my mind works on larger things slowly as I keep going. Slytherin confesses. Of course, but we are here until a transfer is requested. The Empire itself pays us, and we are to not only keep you safe and secure, but we are also encouraged to do more. We are bound to you by duty and honor. Oh, I see. And if I want to spend my next decade of life slowly growing myself as a person, healing my wounds both physical and otherwise, we will keep you and guard you through it all. And if I swear my oaths to the Undaunted and stand with them, unless the Undaunted turn against LeBlanc, then we will keep you and guard you through it all. Megara says, and Slytherin nods. And should I return after both such things, planning to build a place blending the ideals of both in a manner of the free fleetborn to create a house of warriors and tradeswomen who roam the length and breadth of LeBlanc and beyond, then we will keep you and guard you through it all. And what would happen if something occurs to make another noble of LeBlanc an enemy? Then we will keep you and guard you through it all. Only the Empress, the Council, and First Divine Leaders may command an honor guard. Should you be at war with another noble, then it is you we will fight for, Megara states. Well, hopefully it won't come to that. I will be completely frank with you all. My life has been turned over and tossed beyond anything I've ever expected. Merely living and healing has occupied so much of my time, I have had no real time to consider the future. All I know is that I cannot possibly be what I was once all but destined to become. So I'm afraid no matter what happens, there will be some excitement. I'm not going to be anyone's house husband, and we will keep you and guard you through it all, Megara promises. Okay then, welcome aboard. Huh. You're really feeling this is over your head, aren't you? Megara asks in a more casual tone. The gestalt grabbing me through my link to my drones was in over my head. Running from the kilometers-long Titan before backup arrived was in over my head. This is just something I need to think about, but I do my best thinking while doing other things, Slytherin admits. Still, I would like a bit of a crash course in LeBlanc culture and expectations.